Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea and today I am so excited. Mama Pat gave us a concealer. So yes, we are going to be reviewing the new Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. And I will say this is not going to be a full day wear test because currently it is 4:40, but I will wear this as long as I can so that I can still get this video up today because I do want to get it up ASAP, but I just can help myself. I have to put it on my face now and record it now. But before we get into this video, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend some time with me. If this is your first time here, stay, honey, go on and stay. Click the subscribe button. I would really love to have you here. And if you are a returning subscriber, you know how much I appreciate you. I'm so appreciative of your constant support, for always just being here with me and riding with me. It really does mean a lot. So let's get started. Okay, so of course, let's do our little due diligence and see what Mama Pat wants us to know about these concealers. So this is currently sold, of course, on Pat McGrath's website. It's also sold online at Sephora and in store in Sephora. I did go and pick this up today. It retails for $32. We get a total of 0.16 fluid ounces or 4.7 milliliters of product, and it does come in 36 shades. I do have the shade M16 and I do wear the shade M19 in the foundation. I am currently wearing the foundation as we speak, but I don't have any powder on it. So it is a creamy, lightweight, full coverage concealer with a natural, radiant matte finish that brightens under the eye and hides the appearance of blemishes. It says that it's going to be suitable for all skin types, normal, dry, combination, and oily. And some of the highlighted ingredients are the Vita Serum Complex. This is going to moisturize and help fight the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Then we have the Flex Form Matrix, which is going to provide smoothness without being tacky for ultimate comfort. And then we have Optically Diffusing Pigments that provides a soft focus effect that blurs skin imperfections and deliver an exceptionally silky feel. This product is going to be free of parabens, and I think that's about it. So here is the packaging of the concealer. I love it. It's nice, and I think it's luxe feeling. In my opinion, it's kind of similar to the packaging of the foundation, if you remember that. And what is interesting, the shelf life of this product is only 6 months. That's not a long time. So in terms of product amount, I want to compare this concealer to a couple other high-end and luxury concealers to see if we're getting more or less product for the price, since $32 is pretty expensive for a concealer. So here we have the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Concealer, and this comes with 0.13 ounces or 4 milliliters of product. So, and this retails for $32. So we get a little bit more in the Pat concealer. We have here the Shiseido Synchro Skin Concealer that retails for $31. And we get 0.19 fluid ounces or 5.8 milliliters of product. So we get a little bit more in the Shiseido, but we also get a little bit more in the Pat than the Charlotte Tilbury. So in terms of its price and product amount, I think we get a good amount of product across the board. So those are the details on the concealer. I chose the shade M16, which is described as medium with peach undertones, because I love a good peachy base concealer, because the peachy color definitely does do some color correcting. So let's just go right in. Here is the doe foot applicator, which it looks pretty standard. It's got more of a pointy tip to it, and it's pretty flat. So let's just go ahead and apply some product. So I'm just gonna apply this much right here. And y'all, let me just say, when I went to Sephora, they didn't even have these out, and I definitely asked them if they could go get me some, because I was just like, I didn't tell them this, but I was like, I got a video to film and I'm not coming back and I'm not ordering this online. So, but I was really thankful that they did go ahead and get these for me. Now, I probably should have not applied all of this on my face because I don't know if this is gonna dry quickly or not. So we'll just experiment together. So I'm gonna go in with my Morphe E8 brush and just start blending this in. And so far, I'm liking this shade. And let's do this. Let's blend one under eye with a sponge, a damp sponge, and the other under eye with a brush. Because depending on how you blend in your concealer, you might use a sponge, you might use a brush, and I want to show you both. So let's do that. I'm gonna blend out the concealer around my nose and in my T-zone with this brush here. And this is blending out very nicely. Like I mentioned before, I'm loving the undertone of this concealer because especially around my nose, I have a lot of redness. I think it's canceling out that redness very nicely. And now let's go up the center of my forehead. I can tell that this concealer does dry kind of quickly. It's not hard to blend, but I am feeling just a little bit of resistance getting up here. So it'll be interesting to see how this blends under my eyes since it's been sitting there for just a little bit. But I feel like I may not have to set this. And if I don't have to set this, pat, we might be onto something. Okay, so let's go in and blend out this eye with the brush. And I can already tell I used way too much on this side. So I do think a little bit does go a long way. I don't think I needed that much, but we're still gonna work with it. Yeah, I did not need that much. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I just can tell a little bit will go a long way. And I do think you can then build accordingly for the type of coverage that you want. Okay, so this is one eye blended with the brush. Now I'm gonna go in with this damp sponge and blend out the other side. I don't like this sponge at all. I don't know if this is the sponge, if it's too damp, which I don't think it is because I wring it out and there's no water dripping from it. But can you see that it's, let me get up a little closer. Can you see that some of the concealer has been picked up and is not blending? So I'm gonna go back in with this brush, which I typically either use a brush to blend out my concealer or I go in with the Blendiful by Tati Beauty. That's been a very recent favorite of mine. But yeah, I'm liking the brush better. And it could be the sponge. That sponge that I used is very dense. It's not as soft as like the Beauty Blender or the e.l.f. sponge. It's not nearly as soft as that. So it might just be the sponge. But for now, I'm just gonna stick with the brush because I don't wanna mess up the review or taint the review because the tool might be bad or may not just be the best for it. So sorry guys, I can't really help you in terms of sponge wise because that's the only sponge that I have. Sorry. But here we go. This is what everything is looking like. So I'm gonna come in close so you can see what things are looking like under my eyes. So here we go. I'm gonna try to look up so you can see what my under eye looks like when I look up. And then this is what it looks like on my chin, on my forehead. And I think this looks pretty nice. It does feel a little tacky. Yeah, it does feel a little tacky. So I am gonna set with powder. Initially I was thinking maybe I wouldn't have to set with powder, and I don't know. Maybe if I let it sit for a little while longer, it might dry down to a soft matte, but I always set my under eye anyway, so I'm gonna do that because I like to be consistent with what I normally do. I'm gonna go in with the Give Me Glow Loose Setting Powder. This is in the shade Banana Cream Pie. I'm gonna go in with my little powder puff sponge here and just take a little bit of powder, about that much, and just set the under eye. And I'm also gonna set my T-zone. Okay, so I have everything on my face, powder, you know, all the nines. And I put everything on except for a setting spray because I wanted you all to see what the concealer looks like with powder. So I would say that this concealer is definitely more of a mattifying concealer, as the description does say. I do think it's more of a soft matte. I don't feel like it is an overly dry matte to where it would make your under eyes look too crusty, like right off the back. Like I've experienced some concealers, I put them on and I'm like, whoa, you're just way too dry. This gives you more of a soft matte type of feel. For my preference, next time I use this concealer, I'll definitely use a more hydrating base for it. And so I would just say if you have drier skin, you might want to definitely go in with a little bit more of like maybe a hydrating, moisturizer or something like that, just so that it's not too dry for you. Because like I said, I do see more of the matteness. And I would like to note too, the Pat McGrath foundation that I'm wearing is also a more softer matte foundation. So in combination with these two products, if you have drier skin, it might be best to use this concealer with a more hydrating foundation, especially if you feel like this foundation or foundations like this are too dry for your skin. For me, like I said, I would just go in with a little bit more of a hydrating base so that I can, so that my overall face doesn't look so matte. But I'm gonna go about my day. Like I said, I'm not gonna be able to do like, 9-10 hour wear tests, but I am gonna wear this as long as I can, and then I will check back in later on tonight to show you what everything looks like, to see if my oils come through, if it changes or anything like that. But so far, I do like it. I don't think it looks, like I said, I'm glad that it doesn't make my under eye look too dry right off the back. I do like the color of the concealer. So yeah, I will touch back with you all in a few hours. We are back. It is like the end of the day. I've actually had this concealer on for 7 hours. So I don't think that's bad. It's, maybe not a full work day, but it does kind of give us an idea as to how it does wear. So let me just zoom in or come in so you can take a look and see how everything is looking. So remember, I put the concealer under my eyes, so I'm gonna look up so you can see my fine lines, hopefully. And I also put the concealer in and down my T-zone. So let me take a look, because I actually have not looked at it in hours. I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at it. I will say this is definitely more of a matte concealer, for sure. And so, like I said earlier in the video, I definitely will go in with a more hydrating base next time I use this concealer, because for me, I like for my concealer to just be a smidge more hydrating even after I set it. But it looks flawless. Flawless. So when I was editing the first part of this video, I was looking at my skin and I was like, kind of look a little flawless. And then when I took pictures in this, I was like, whoa, this looks good. Like, it looks really good. So like I said, I think for me, this concealer will work better for me in terms of just how I like it with a more hydrating base. But overall, I think it's pretty good. It has lasted pretty well around my nose. I don't see it bunching up around my nose or anything like that. The redness that I have around my nose, I feel like it's still covered up pretty well. So I feel like if you did have dark circles that you were trying to conceal, I think it probably would hold up pretty good. In terms of the coverage, I think you could probably build this up to full coverage if you wanted to. I think right now I have a good medium coverage going on here. Nothing like extremely full, because you can definitely see my freckles, but I do think my freckles are toned down. But I do like it. In terms of it creasing, this didn't crease at all. Like, did not crease at all, which is pretty amazing. It's actually pretty amazing. Yes, I did set it with powder, but I have definitely tried other concealers that I set with powder and they be creasing. So this didn't crease. I mean, I think this is definitely a concealer worth checking out if you're interested in it. I'm definitely gonna play around with this more and give you guys my thoughts. Like I said, with a more hydrating base. I am also gonna try applying it with my fingers. So I'm gonna definitely play around with this, touch base with you all so that I can give you just a little bit more of a well-rounded perspective. But because it's a new launch, I couldn't wait. I wanted to share it with you all, share my first impressions with you all. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, how you think the concealer wore. Let me know if you're interested in getting it, or if you already have it. Let me know how you feel about it and all that good stuff. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye guys.